On the edge of a forgotten empire lay a garden that looked beautiful from afar, but up close it breathed unease. The air was thick with the smell of rotting roses and wilted jasmine. At night, the blossoms didn't glow. They bled strange light, like falling embers from a cursed sky. At the center of this dreadful garden stood a shadowed palace, its windows lit with dim lanterns that flickered as if alive. Inside lived Princess Illyra. The people whispered of her beauty, but also of her golden eyes that seemed to stare too long, as though they could read the souls of anyone who dared look back. Illyra spent her nights weaving garlands, but these were not garlands of love or hope. Each held a curse, a garland of thorns that bound the wearer's spirit, another that carried whispers of madness, and one that promised eternal longing. Those who wore them were never the same again. Though she cursed others, Illyra herself longed for something real, someone who would not fear her. On stormy nights, she stood on the balcony, whispering to the moon, "Let one soul come to me, one who will not escape." One night, her wish was answered. A royal procession appeared at the gates, but the horses' eyes glowed red and the banners dripped like they had been soaked in blood. From it came a prince, Kale. His cloak shimmered with sapphire light, but his face was pale, his smile too sharp, and his ocean-like eyes carried the cold emptiness of a drowned man. He told the court he was searching for a flower known as the veil bloom, a blossom said to heal, but also to take life if misused. Only Illyra could lead him to it. Their meeting was unsettling. When their eyes met, Illyra felt as if the sea itself had risen to swallow her, yet she was drawn in. They walked through the garden at night, but shadows followed them, and the flowers twisted their heads to watch. One midnight, she wove a garland of blood-red and bone-white blossoms and gave it to him. "Wear this," she whispered, "and it will always lead you back to me." He smiled, though the smile stretched too wide. Soon after, a storm tore across the kingdom. The prince's ship was seen vanishing into the black waves. Rumors spread that the sea had claimed him. Illyra's garlands turned black, and her laughter died into silence. Years passed. The once cursed garden grew still, its flowers hushed, its thorns thick as claws. Yet every dusk, Illyra wandered to the riverbank, clutching the withered garland she had given him. One night, when the sun sank and the river turned black, the air filled with a smell of decay, the same scent that clung to the garland Kale had taken. The water rippled, glowing faintly, and a figure emerged. It was Kale, but his skin was pale, marked with rot from the sea, his eyes darker than the depths. Still, he carried the garland, now fused into his flesh like veins. His voice was broken, yet it carried clearly. "The garland never let me die. It dragged me back to you." Illyra trembled, not with fear, but with a twisted joy. Tears spilled, and where they fell, black roses grew, their petals dripping crimson. The garden awakened again, but this time it pulsed with shadows, feeding on their cursed love. And above, the night sky writhed, stars rearranging into garlands of blood and bone, as if the heavens themselves were bound by her curse.